Good afternoon, it's Pamela from Yorkshire in the north of England. Just letting you know that after this short video I will be uploading the video that I've done to show you how I make up some of my items, but I've only done the head onto the body and the muzzle so far. This is how I do my items. I do them as I complete the parts. I find that I don't get overfaced with it that way. So I've explained on the video, I've actually put this one on a video editing app. So I've managed to add some pictures at the end and I've put some text on it. So I hope that it's okay what I've done. But I've had to do it that way because I stopped to take a phone call, and when I restarted the video after the phone call, the timer was moving on, so it was as if it was recording, but it had actually froze. So the latter part of sewing the muzzle on isn't there, so sorry about that. I'm not going to undo it to do it again. But basically what I did was I went down to, like you see that I do when I've put the head onto the body, I go down to like 5 or 6 stitches and then I stuff the muzzle. So that's the only bit really. You can see there that's the finishing edge that I did. So I hope that it's of use to some of you, and that apologies that it's quite unprofessional really. I'm not obviously it's not my forte is doing tutorials, so but anyway, see what you think and let me know. Have a good day. See you later. Good morning, it's Pamela here from Yorkshire in the north of England. Well, I say a few of you, there were maybe a couple or three, asked how I fill my amigurumis and also attach them together. I am going to do this. Whether I'll be able to edit out all the in-between bits, I don't know. You may have to just fast forward to what bits you want. For the time being, I'm just going to sew the head to the body and possibly put the muzzle on at this stage. It depends, because I like to do it in small pieces so that, you know, like I don't get too tired of doing it, and obviously, you know, like you're more likely to make mistakes. This is how I do it. Sorry about the camera moving, by the way. It's the stand I've bought for it is a bit wobbly. There's no definitive way of stuffing, of putting an amigurumi together. We all have to find our own way. We all have different tensions, we all have different way of doing stitches and what have you. But this is how I do it, and like I say, it may not be right for you. I did find my own way with it as well. So obviously I'm just putting little bits at a time in the parts of the amigurumi. I just go until I find some resistance, you know. So obviously I'm feeling it in the palm of my hand while I'm doing, sorry, I'm knocking it, sorry. I don't fully stuff at this stage. I'll show you how I finish it off when we get to that. I am generally an overstuffer, by the way, so again, that's probably not the right way to be doing it, but it's the way I do it. So that as much as I want. No, I'll put a little bit more down there. Just feel if you can feel any bits where you can feel that there's no stuffing. So that's that bit. And then go on to the body. You know that I'm not a teacher. Really is practice makes perfect. You just got to keep making the mistakes and learning from them. I generally have the yarn attached to the bottom part I'm using. It's not always, it changes with each item, it's a judgment call, but generally speaking I will have my thread that I'm using to stitch together on the bottom part. I also, this is my preferred way of attaching, which is attaching the head to the body with the same number of stitches on the head and the body that's left. If it's not got that number of stitches left, like this one, the head was supposed to go down to next to nothing, but I've made them both finish at the same as the body, which is 24 stitches, just because I find that the best way to get the perfect finish. But like I say, don't take my word as absolute. So I just go around, see if I can feel any obvious gaps that I've missed. I hope you can see this. I'm not 100% sure I'm getting in shot here. So that is as much as I'm going to fill at the moment, because we can change that. We have time to do that later. Now I always start by I create a false stitch on the edge, just so that my yarn, the thread that I've got, I don't like the finish you get if you try and attach that as it is to the amigurumi, so I make a false stitch. So that is the one that this one's in, if you can see it there, and I make a false stitch by going into the next one just under the V, sorry, the top of the stitch, and just pull that around slightly, and then I go into the next stitch along that side. You pull tight, you can see that looks like I've got that wrong, sorry, I apologise. Don't know, I've managed to get that, just bear with. Try again. I think I went in the wrong one there. So yeah, so pull that round. Typical, you don't get a correct finish when you're showing someone. So then I just attach that with a couple of stitches. You know, that's not a good finish, and it's typical. It's because I'm showing someone. As long as it's secure though, you'll get a good finish, it doesn't matter. So I just put a couple of stitches in just to secure it down. Then I come back up the edge of it, the one I want to start with. Go under that little V there. Yep. So that's a lot neater. It doesn't matter that I've got it just slightly wrong. That's a lot neater than it would have been if it was pulling from the edge. So then you see, like this one worked out just right. Is that the one? Yeah, that's where the edges look. So it's a perfect finish, and that's what I was aiming for there, but I've just got that wrong, but never mind. So I just go in anywhere. If it's a perfectly round head, I just go in anywhere. Sorry, I'm knocking the camera. I just go in anywhere. Right, my way of doing this, and like I say, it's not necessarily the correct way. I come back through the bottom one like that, and then the top stitch, I want the next one, that's the one I've just been in, I go in from front to back, and then the next stitch at the bottom, I come from inside out, and then into the next stitch, and then inside out, top one, next stitch, outside in, and then inside out, and then next one, outside in, and inside out. And that way I'm just, you see, I just keep making sure that the stitches are pulled up, the thread's pulled up. So then next one, outside in, inside out, and then just see the thread going through that one. So that's my next one, outside in, inside out, outside in, inside out. Sorry about fridge, it's just making a noise like they do. See, at one time when I was starting, I couldn't see what I was looking for here. It's just like I say, it's practice. That's all it is. There's no great trick. You watch as many things as you can find for sewing, and you find the one that works for you, or your own way. I believe this is my own way. It's based on what I've seen others do, but this, I don't think I've ever seen anybody tell me to do the top one like this, outside to the inside, and then bottom one inside to the outside, but I just worked out that that was my best finish. I think that's the perfect finish. There's no gaps, you can't see the stuffing come through. But like I say, it works for me, and I would by no means say that mine is the best way, because there probably are others that are a lot better. This is just the way that I can do it, and I'm happy with the finish. I'm happy with how secure it is. Like I say, it really is down to the individual to work out what's for them. I mean, if this does work for you, then please use it, you know. Like I say, whatever gets anybody doing this wonderful craft is a good thing. Sorry, I'm a shaky person, as you probably already worked out. I know I keep saying it, but I am. But like I say, it doesn't hold me back. Might be shaky, but I can still get what I want. You should see me when I've taken my salbutamol in the morning. I can't. I sometimes can't hold the hook straight, but it comes back. Oh, I'm nearly there. So, right, so we're now round to, I go to where there's maybe 4, 5, 6 stitches. It depends on the size of the project. And so, like, I'm back to this stage. As you can see, it's a good, neat finish. I don't think I've seen anybody's better, but like I say, that's because it's obviously the right way for me. So at this stage I now make it right with the stuffing. So, and it's a lot better to find out if you've got enough stuffing in the neck, is to just wait till this stage instead of trying to work round the stuffing when you're stitching. Wait till you've got the neck nearly done, and then you can feel. I know I'm doing this slightly over, aren't I? Let me just try and move the camera over. I hope I don't have to redo this. Sorry about that. I know I should have put you on hold, but I'm not a technical person. So sorry, you're wobbling. You'll be getting seasick. I should have bought a better stand, but we're trying to get a cheap one. As you can see, I don't think I'll be doing tutorials very often. I'm not that good at anything. Right, so I just keep having a feel, make sure I've got all the sides I want. Sometimes I'll just stick my needle through as well, you know. It just depends what I'm doing and how much thread I've got left. But this one's got loads of length, so it's not going anywhere. Right, so that side feels okay. This is something that you can't, I don't think you can teach this. You've got to just know when it feels right, you know. And it's relative to each of us, you know. So that is the top done. Just going to make sure that fits. I've got a little bit, I would say a bit round bottom. Would be furthest part, wouldn't it? Just do some down there. Just want to make sure this neck won't wobble, which is why I like to have the same number of stitches in top and bottom. I know a lot of people, they either take the head down to fully closed or a smaller number of stitches, and I find that really hard to do. So if I can, I will change where I finish on a pattern. Just let me have a look. So this one, the head was supposed to finish with, yeah, it was supposed to, yes, that's right, it was supposed to go down to 6 stitches, and then you were supposed to seal it off, and then the body was finishing on 24 stitches, but I made sure the head finished on 24. It works for me. The lowest I probably will do for a neck is 12 stitches. 24 is the ideal, but I will do 18. It depends on the size of the toy, and depends on the size of the toy, and you know, how big the head is and all that, you know. So I think that is stuffed quite nicely. Yeah, I would say so. So now just go back to what I was doing. You just got to be slightly more careful that you don't pick up the stuffing. But if you do, you can pick it out. I hope you can see this. I'll be upset with myself if I've done all this and then I'm doing it off a screen. I should have marked the table where I should hold my toy in between, shouldn't I? Note for next time if you ever do this again. So when you get into the end like this, I see you can't pull it apart to do it properly. So I just feel my way, and then I pull the needle so I can see that I've got both sides of the V like that. So I know I've got both sides of the V there. Then into the next one, which is you see, I've one short now, and that's because I've fluffed it. But it doesn't matter. Put 2 in one, and then go to your just the last one there, and come out. This is where it started, so I'll make sure I double down on the first one. So that's there like that. Then you just want to carefully get that into the first one. I did fluff that anyway, never mind. Then I go around and I make sure I've caught both these with them, and I like to go over the stitch, you know, so you've got like doubled over the stitch. It's for extra security. So if I go, see, that's become a bit unneat, is that? And that's, a lot of mine don't have that effect, but it's because I fluffed it at the beginning. It's because I was nervous when I was doing it on screen. But it's still a neat finish, I think, even with that. And it will get covered up, so what I will do is I will make that the front, and where the muzzle, it would hide that. So, or even better, I may attach the arm at that point. It hides a multitude of things. Just think ahead, you know. Never panic if you make mistakes. You can cover it with something. So just go through a few times, and this is the bit where I used to pull too tight and used to have so many little lumps and bumps in it. And that's all you've got to do, is you just be gentle with it. So pulling it through here, but then when I'm getting to the end of the thing, I go really slow, and then make sure it's pulled back through. I take it out through the bottom, and I will attach this to something else later, you know, so I'll knot it with something else that I attach later, and just for more security. So that's that. And then through the bottom. There we go. So that's out through the bottom. So that's like that. So I don't think you can see any lumpy bits there. And even if you do, just roll it in your hands and just slightly move the stuff in, and the end, and it just rights a couple of wrongs, you know. So everything's where it should be. Yeah, it will stand up when it's got all bits on. There we go. So that's that bit done. So next part is to attach the muzzle. I haven't got any other bits ready, by the way, because like I say, I don't like putting. So if I make that, I'm going to make that where the arm goes. So this wants to be. So that's each side of the neck. So I'll make that where the arm goes. Each side of the neck is there, so your centre point is about there. So I always attach the bottom of a muzzle first, because if you stretch it up if you leave it too slack at the bottom, you're going to end up with some that'll go further, you know, further down into the body. And I want it to be at the neck. So, and plus as well, the stitches will stretch it slightly anyway. So if you see, this is where you've got, I do mine by sight, so that's the centre, so that wants to go up to the centre. Put that in. I ended up running out of white, so I ended up having to join another piece. So the flash wants to go up near the forehead. So just want to, I mean, you can adjust it later. I don't always pin, by the way, it just depends on what I'm doing. Because it's got a flash, I do feel like I need to pin it. I want to have a good idea that I'm in the right area. I've already finished that one off, by the way, by putting it through. You see, it's perfect when I haven't done it on the screen. So his right side of his muzzle. See, I work stitches right to left as well, like you do when you're crocheting, so I will pin it top side of my thread. And then that one. And I take the pin through and then pull it to the side a little bit, just to. So I want these to be straight down there, so that looks about right to me. And then up there, so I think that might be slightly off actually. Yeah, slightly off. Just take it a bit to the left. Not too much to the left. Yeah, so that's probably okay. These want to be right as well. So up there, and another one. Oh, sorry, I keep knocking. Sorry. So that's there. I think that might be okay. Same again, no matter what the pattern says, I don't stuff the muzzle first, because I find it just looks totally wrong when you've done it. But just go with what you're happy with that. So I want to make sure that looks right. Like I say, I do a lot by sight. I don't. That's okay for me. Just have a look at the side. I think that'll be fine. It looks straight. Right, so just let me put my. This is what I mean about having too much thread left. I always have a long tail. Now I'm using my smaller needle for this one. Again, it's a judgment call. Just when I'm doing finer work, I feel better with the smaller needle. So this is where it's coming out. I always give it a tug, because I have been known in the past to leave some tucked underneath, and then you end up with a lump that you have to sort out. So I just go through the first V after the tail, and then I come out. Just come out just under the next stitch. So, and I tend to do it in one part, this. I try not to have too much coming out too far in front of the muzzle, because that way you get a lot more visible stitches. And it's easier to sort it at this stage than it is to undo it. So through the V, then through a part of the stitch below. These are the hardest bit, is where the stitches are sort of like diagonal. And then through the next one. A little bit easier, but it's still, I just want to catch a little bit. I don't like catching a lot of it. Through there. I've just come a little bit too much to the side there, but it doesn't matter for an odd one. So through the, I should have been a little bit further to the right there. Then back under the next one. And then through that one there and back under the next one. I'm sure this will be very boring for you, you know. I'll start taking the pins out as I go. I think this muzzle will be just about right there, just in the neck. Oh, managed to pull that through. Right, so that's there, and then this wants to just be a bit flatter to the bottom, so I can work along the stitches as if it's a straight line. Oh, getting in way. So then through the next one. I keep eyeballing it just to make sure I'm still following in a straight line. Hope you can see this. Like I say, I'm not a teacher. Oh, just got that caught round there. Let's take that out while it just goes in. I'd probably better use it without that now. So we are looking, look, so just make sure you're following a similar line. Sorry. I really should have got a better stand. Get that pulled up there somewhere. It's hard because you like working underneath the muzzle. Well, I do, because I can't do with seeing stitches around edge. I mean, you do see them to some extent, but I like to make sure I like it a neat finish. So like these, when I'm at the side of them like this, I just go underneath one of the threads of the V's. Now, I am pulling, but I'm not pulling too tight, so again, tension is something that you have to, you know, trial and error. And that's where, like I say, a lot of my mistakes were at the beginning. I was pulling too tight and puckering the fabric. Just bear with me.